not enough to meet our current recurring expenses. And what I'm trying to do over the next couple of years is to try to close that gap. Now, one of the things that I did, and we're very fortunate in that we have a partner that many other places don't have. It's something called the Duke Endowment. But they're not, they're a help, but they're not the savior. And at some point, we got to help ourselves. But I did go to them, and they did meet a request that I made. And I'll share with you what that number was. I asked them for $6.3 million over 2 years, and they gave it to us. 3.5 for this year, meaning the current fiscal year is June 30. And but for that, our results would have been negative. And I asked for $2.8 million for next year. And you notice the number's going down. Because I told them I didn't want a solid number because at some point we got to take care of ourselves. So this is a transition. So they're going like this, but what I'm going to be talking about with you all is that we got to go like this. They're going to go down. They said, okay, we're going to help you out because you're in a tight bond right now, but this this can't be the status quo going forward. So we're going to end this year with a positive balance, in large part because of the Duke Endowment. But next year it gets tighter because that money's going down, and we got the same, if not more, expenses. So as I said, this week we were in a budget meeting. We came out of the budget. We were recommending a budget, and part of what I've tried to do is to try to generate a budget that's going to actually not budget to zero, but budget to a surplus. So if something does go wrong, we got a little wiggle room. So if as many students don't show up, or one doesn't raise enough money, or something like that. But she said, but y'all here, she knows she's gonna hit her tongue. So we're gonna talk about that. But that's the challenge. So that's one piece of it. We have to have a clean audit. We changed our auditing firms last year, so we have a new auditing firm, and we hope to have a clean audit. But all of these things are really, really important. So that meeting is going to happen. They're going to come, I think it's the 15th through the 17th of October. We will find out again in December as to whether or not we are off of probation. I am hopeful. I can't guarantee anything, but it won't be for lack of effort if we don't make it. We are working, we are working tirelessly. We have the whole campus working on this, right? For that in October. All right?
Excuse me, Madam President, how much are we in debt?
It's not a matter of being in debt. What it is that our operations on an annual basis. The revenue that we get from tuition, from the giving that we get, is insufficient to meet our recurring costs. So, if you took the Duke Endowment money out and you did some other things, extraordinary things that we didn't do, we were probably about maybe $2 to $2.5 million short on an annual basis. That's not debt so much as it is, it's a budget deficit. So what the universities had to do is take some extraordinary measures. They've had to cut back on things, scholarships. They've had to cut back on maintenance. That's why some of our buildings look a little tired. They've had to cut back on a lot of things. We can't sustain success that way. The only way we can sustain success is that we're going to have to increase. Remember that first R. That's why I started with resources. We're going to have to increase our resources at some point. And we're going to be mindful of our expenses. Out of this budget, this past year, we cut out $1 million out of budget. It was tough. I had to go into all the managers and ask them. Everybody had to give a little at the well. So they did. But at the same time, we're trying to make some targeted investments because one of the things we need to do is we need to diversify our revenue. Remember what I said earlier. We can't rely on that 18 to 24-year-old population to show up. So among the things we're looking at are graduate programs, right? The graduate program, Master of Social Work, has been not only great from a pedagogical, educational standpoint, it's been good financially. We'd like to expand that program. We're going to look at it. There are other graduate programs that we'd like to expand, but guess what? We can't expand until we get off of what?
Probation.
There you go. So that's why I said it is the most important thing that we'll be working on this year. So this probation thing really, really, really is important. Really, really is important. I heard the
Well,
question
have
is if we
another
don't get
question.
off
What if we
probation.
don't get off probation? What
So
happens?
this is what could happen.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Could happen. You could be on probation for up to 2 years, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's possible that we could get to December and they said, you know what? You made progress. Maybe not enough yet. We're gonna put you on for 1 more year. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because the probation thing is like an albatross around your neck. One quick story. So I was in the cafeteria one day, and a young lady was sitting there. She looked all kind of sad. I usually try to engage with the students. I went up to her and said, "Are you all right?" She said, "Yeah." "How are you?" She said, "I'm thinking about transfer." "Thinking about transfer? Why would you transfer?" She said, "Well, I don't know. You know, we're on probation, and I don't know if my degree is going to mean anything." It was early on in the springtime. And I said, "Stop right there." Just like I told you on the summer day. I said, "First of all, we're on probation. Our accreditation is good." I asked, "What year were you?" She said, "I'm a junior." I said, "Look, we're working hard." I kind of told her what I just told you. We're working very hard to try to resolve this issue. And she looked up at me and she said, "Okay, President Armbrewster, I'm going to stay." I said, "Oh, whoa." So that became very personal to me.
Sounds good.
I am working very hard, so I'm hoping we can get off this year. There's no guarantee, but we could be put on probation another year. If we go to 2 years, after 2 years, you're out. You're out. 3 strikes and you're out. Which means if they pull our accreditation, and this, I do not expect this to happen under any circumstance. But the worst thing that could happen is they pull your accreditation, then you can't be eligible for financial aid. Your students are going to leave. It'll be a disaster. But we're not. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, we ain't going for that.
That's right. We're not going for that. Right.
No, we ain't
So
going for that.
that's that.
President, this might be a really good time just to say this, that there are a number of alumni in this chapter that donate individually to the university. And I know a lot of them do. Some of us, we have until June 30th for this fiscal year to get the money down. And I just wanted to say that aloud. But 2 years ago, our now treasurer, she was vice president then, Rosalind Lee, started this program, what we call Chapter Pride. And each of us made a pledge, in addition to our individual gifts to the university, made a pledge that we would send 1 big chapter check down to the university. And our first year we were a little short, and this year, not what we wanted, but I do want to present to you our chapter pride check. $3,500. And this is from the Philadelphia alumni, individuals giving to the chapter to give a check to the university, in addition to the individual gift to the university.
Well, that is, you know what? This is great. This is a great start.
So
Thank
you
you
take
so
that
much.
back, and now one little last announcement. Those of you who have not made your final deposit on Chapter Pride, do it now.
That's
before
right.
you leave, before we get this back to the bank.
Let me give you my pitch.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
That was great, 'cause I'm getting to the close right now. You know what they say? One thing they always tell you, don't sell past the close. So I'm not going to sell past the close, but I do want to thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and that's right on time, because the one thing I was wanting to talk about is what we need from you, right? That what we need from you. That this is the end, and we'll do. So the first thing that I'd like to talk to alumni about is those students that we talked about. We need to continue that great pipeline of students that are evidenced by you all here. And a lot of people don't think about that in terms of alumni. You can be very instrumental. We had a story tonight about a John C. Smith graduate coming back, and that was 30, 40 years ago, but really coming back to his block and talking about the fact that he went to John C. Smith, and the kids listened and said, so not only did every kid on the block go to college, but we had a couple of, they go to Johnson C. Smith from that, right?
Yeah.
So-
Like this crowd here.
Right. So we need you to help us identify, and what I'm gonna call close the deal. Remember, students have choices today. And what we need to be able to do is to convince them that the secret sauce, and I call it the secret sauce that Johnson C. Smith had, is worth that differential. Because if you go to Johnson C. Smith and you're a successful Johnson C. Smith, all you gotta do is look around. The evidence is right here, right? So we need you to help us close the deal. And you'll be hearing from our admissions and enrollment management office about how you can do that. As we identify students who have applied to us, who have been accepted, the hardest part is what we call yielding them, getting them to sign on the dotted line and send that check. And that's where you all can be very, very helpful to us, all right? So that's the first thing we need to ask. We need to ask you your help in terms of recruitment. The second thing is in financial support. You're going to be getting letters coming out in Wednesday next week?
By the end of next week.
Oh, the end of next week. So you'll be getting a letter, each and every one of you, and that's one of the reasons why I want to make sure we have your address, from the General Alumni President, Christy Bryant. We've been working very, very hard together to try to figure out what alumni can do. And so we sat down over the course of a couple of meetings, and we came up with a target. So I'm going to give you two numbers tonight that I don't want you to forget when you leave tonight. I'm just going to get back to that classroom discussion we had. There are two numbers, 25 and $1 million. 25 and